This is chapter number 1, tracing changes through 1,000 years. 1,000 years, what all changes are done or happen, we'll talk about that. This is the initial chapter, so the information is limited, but this is a basement for the chapters which are coming after this. The year I am talking about is from 700 to 1750, or you can say 750 to 1750. That means 1000 years span we are talking about. What all happened from 750 to 1750? We call it as medieval yug, medieval era, medieval period. So ultimately we'll talk about, see, the dates or the era is from 700 to 1750 roundabout. So this is the span we are going to talk about, what happened in history, specifically the Indian subcontinent we are going to talk about. So in totality, as an overview, this chapter is there, just to give you a brief idea. So all starts here with two maps, one map, two map. There are two different maps made by two different people in the span of 600 years. The first map, second map have a lot of difference. What is map? First of all, map, manchitra, those who make map. The art of making map is cartography. So the people who make map are called cartographer. Those who make map are cartographer. So the first map which we are talking about, this is the small part of this big map, and this was being made by an Arabian, and his name is Muhammad al-Idrisi. He is Arab geographer, Muhammad al-Idrisi. So he made this map, initial map, and he made in 1154 common era, 1154 after the death of Jesus Christ. Okay, 1154. Now the second map, this map is made by around 1720, around 600 years after what Al-Idrisi has made, and it was being made by a French cartographer, and his name, French cartographer, because he belongs to France, so his name is Guillaume de Lisle. I don't know this pronunciation is correct or not, but Guillaume de Lisle. Now let me tell you the first map. This map, the names are written in Arabic, and most of the things are there but in different places. The Middle India and South India, the places are changed. The Middle India is now South India is Middle India. Also the Sri Lanka, which is here, he has shown, Al-Idrisi has shown it in the northern part. But he was the, you can say, the path breaker. He made the map, and after this many people made the maps. These scenarios, art of map making changed. Then Delisle, he made the map, and the map he made, it was fantastic. It was quite similar to what map we know right now. This coastal area, if you see the coastal area, these are being, very clearly identified and being made. So this coastal area, because of this coastal area, you can say crispness or clarity, the Europeans who used to come here, or the traders or the merchants who used to come here, they were following this map. The map being made by Guillaume de Lisle. This map used and employed and appreciated by the merchants and the voyagers. As I said, the science of cartography, the art of map making, the way map was perceived and be made were different, because it changed, advancement was there. So there was a change. That is how you see that Leslie was better. Now coming to terminology, terms and terminology, the words in different languages. If you talk about medieval Persian, that is Farsi, Madhya Yug Farsi, medieval Persian, it is all different. The words and terminologies are different from modern Persian, aaj ke Farsi. So the historians, what do? Because they need to know what happened earlier, what is now. So the grammar, what was the grammar at that time? What was the vocabulary? That means how many words were there in that particular language, and what were the meanings of word, pronunciation of the word, because word changed from time to time. I'll take a word, Hindustan. We'll take an example. Hindustan. Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara. How do we know this Hindustan? We say India, we say Hindustan, all are same almost. Okay, but these are being asked. Okay, these are the questions we have when we talk about the questions, extra questions. So in 13th century there was a chronicler, Vrittant Lekhak, Minhaj Siraj. There was a chronicler, and see, he was not a historian, he was a chronicler. He used to write chronicles. So the chronicler, he was a chronicler, and he used to write Vrittan, Minhaj Siraj, like the travel chronicle, blog, what we have right now. So he wrote it in Persian, Farsi. So whenever he used this word Hindustan, Minhaj Siraj, the meaning was he is talking about Punjab, Haryana, and the region between Ganga and Yamuna. So these areas, the people who live here, and also he was telling about the Delhi Sultan, that area in political sense, which is the part of Delhi Sultans, that area he termed as Hindustan. Okay. Now this same word, Hindustan, same word, Babur used it. Babur is, we'll talk about him in quite detail. He was a very strong and very big ruler. You can remember it by Babar Azam, a very nice cricket player of Pakistan. So Babur, now he used this same word Hindustan in order to describe, in order to explain the geography, the flora and fauna, that is what kind of plants are there, what kind of animals are there, and also the culture, Sanskriti, how people live, what they eat. So this area he wanted to explain about or describe about an area which is our Indian subcontinent in 16th century. In 16th century, Babur told us or wrote about this, about subcontinent. Please remember, subcontinent, if you take complete Asia, this is the main continent. But India, along with the neighboring countries like China, not very much China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, all these areas are quite, because of various natural divisions, it is clearly different from the Asia part, right? Because we have Himalaya, so we are quite different, or we have a proper boundary. So that is why we are a continent in a continent. So that is why this area was called as a subcontinent, Upmahadweep. Upmahadweep you used to call it. Okay. So Babur was talking about all the content which relates to geography, fauna and culture of the people who are living in this subcontinent. Now, two I have given example. Now one more. Same word Hindustan, same word Hindustan, same word Hind was used by a very eminent, prominent and a big poet, Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro, he used the same word Hind, same word Hind. Okay? But what we see today, if you talk about Hindustan and India, the geographical and cultural entity India, it is there. So India has a proper geography, proper culture, proper politics, proper area. But Hindustan has not that meaning of politics or national meaning. We are not talking about, we don't say, we go to another country, we don't say we are from Hindustan, we say from India, because they also know India. Politically, we are known as Indians, not Hindustanians. So Hindustan is more of a geographical and cultural entity, but this political and national meanings did not go with Hindustan, it goes with India. One more word, let us take one more word, foreigner. Foreigner. Now this foreigner means what? What today, if you see anyone who is having a white skin tone, or he has brown or bhura hair, white hair, you will say he is a foreigner. He is a foreigner. In India, if a person from Tamil Nadu, he goes to Gangtok or say Northeast, the Northeast people are quite similar to Thai people or Chinese, they look like them. The Tamil Nadu person looks like more of Sri Lankan, but they both are Indians. So nobody, neither the one state is foreigner to other. Okay, these two from different part of India, they don't say you are foreigner, I am, and the other ones will say you are foreigner. They are not foreigners, they are indigenous. But at that time, I am talking about that era. At that era, what will happen in the past? What does foreigner means? See, if we have one village, the other person comes to this village. So the other person for this village is a foreigner, is a Pardesi, is a Ajnabi. And same from one first village goes to the other village, he will be what? He will be a Videshi, Ajnabi, Pardesi for the other village. Okay? Because they don't share a common culture, they don't share a commonality. That is why they were foreigners. If a person living in the forest, he goes to both of these village, he will always be a foreigner. He was called as a foreigner. Okay, let me tell you again. In Farsi, Persian, Ajnabi, Hindi we call them as Pardesi, English we call them as foreigner at that time, Purana time, the date we are talking about, 700 to 750. Okay, but if you are of same place, if you know each other, you are not foreigner, you are indigenous. Now historians and what sources we have. Now you tell me, if something happens, some incident happens or some crime happens, an investigation department will do what? They will collect the evidences, they will talk to those people, they will try to get the leads. Okay, if you say something happens in your house, you say your sister has done, sister says you have done, your father will do something, means he's going to take the evidences. So same thing here, the historians and the archaeologists, they behave like a jasus. Okay, so investigative agency. So historians earlier, before the 700, they had these coins, inscriptions. They would do investigation using various archaeological content, inscriptions, architecture like Qutub Minar, Taj Mahal, and textual record means something which is being written, like the manuscript, like what someone has written Harshvardhan biography, and someone has written the pilgrim voyage. So because of this textual record, we understand that how this region was developing, what was the life of normal people. So in this whole chapters 700 to 750, here at this time, the paper records, the evidences which historians have now are paper records. That is the textual records. It grew, like anything. You can say in an exponential manner, the paper content was available. Because paper was available and paper became cheap. So everyone was using paper. Okay? Because if something you write on the paper, you will not be able to forget. Paper got easy. China, if you remember, China, Kai Lun, he invented the paper. From here, there he went to Korea, then Japan, then Baghdad. From Baghdad, it came here, India. So, people started using this paper. They were writing the holy texts. They were writing the chronicles of big rulers or leaders. They were also writing the letters and teaching of different saints or the respected people at that time. And then petitions, teachings, judicial records. At that time, this was there. People were fighting, and there was a judge, and all those things were happening. So petition, judicial records, and also the accounts, because the money coming and going also was being written down. So the accounts and taxes were also being written down. So everything was on record, textual record. So whatever you will write by your hand is called as manuscript, Pandulipi. Pandulipi, whatever you write or whatever has been written by hand is called as manuscript. So these manuscripts are collected normally by the wealthy people, Amir log, wealthy people, by the rulers, by monasteries, temples. So whatever people have written in the earlier times, and what we get here is the Pandulipi. Let me show you the Pandulipi. This is the Pandulipi. This is the manuscript I am talking about. So whatever you write, if you write today something, after 100 years, it will be a Pandulipi. It will be a manuscript. Okay, and they are kept safely in archives, Abhilekhagar. They are kept in archives, a place where the documents and manuscripts are stored properly. Various states, various big cities have archives, Abhilekhagar, where all the manuscripts and other things are kept in that place. Also not kept, but conserved also. Conserved. Your college might be having, your school might be having a library. Similarly, because library is local level, you have books, but in the big museums or archives, there are the thing which are kept of national heritage, the state heritage. Okay, archives, Abhilekhagar. Now at that time there were no printing press, so people have to write. We have a photocopier. We just put our content in the photocopy paper and same thing will come outside. But at that time, those people who are writing are called scribes. They are called as lipik. They are called as nakal navis. All these three are for the same person. They were making the exact copy of whatever is there with them or given to them. Scribes, lipik, nakal navis, they all are same. So if you get a homework from your friend, he is very intelligent, but he is not having a good handwriting. Like you can see my handwriting, it's just terrible. So what I write, I am not able to understand. Same way, if your friend have written something and you are copying his homework, if you don't understand, you will write something, you have to write something, so you will just use your imagination. So when this your friend will copy your content, so there will be certain changes. So there will be change propagation. So that means all these historians have to read all these manuscripts so that they understand what was the actual content. I'll give an example of Ziauddin Barni. He wrote his first chronicle in 1356. Then the other one after 2 years, 1358. They both are same. It's just a revised version. Okay. But only the version 2 was known by the historians. The version 1 was not. Version was 1, it remained, under some library collections, lost in library collections. I'll tell you two different handwritings. Even the Arabic people or the Urdu will not understand this. But the handwriting is saying what? This is a Nakal Navisi, scribes. The first one, left hand side, you see as Nastalik. Right hand side is Shikast. Left is Nastalik, right is Shikast. If you see the left hand side, this Nastalik, this is cursive and easy. Cursive and easy. What does it mean? Cursive means ghasita mar, means hand, continue writing, and it's easy to understand, easy to learn, right? And what about the other one? What is the other one? Which is Shikast. Shikast. The Shikast is quite denser and it is more difficult to read. So this is how the different manuscripts or writing technique were different. Some were easy, some were difficult to learn. Now this new social and political groups I am going to take in the later discussion. Remember, we are talking about 700 to 1750. So this we are going to take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.